Ear training is the process of improving your ability to recognize and understand musical elements like notes, chords, and rhythms just by listening. It's about translating what you hear or imagine into mental concepts like numbers and other labels so you can understand its structure. With this, you can figure out chords instantly, play melodies you imagine, and deconstruct songs all without guesswork or frustration. When starting ear training, it's very normal to feel overwhelmed. Lots of questions like, where do I begin? How do I best use my time? What skills are important to learn? I'm going to try to answer these questions in this video. The goal is to understand melody, harmony, and bass by ear in an abstracted form using numbers. To do this, there are 4 primary skills you need to develop. Recognition of melodic scale degrees, for which my app Sonofield Ear Trainer is your go-to tool for this. Just check the link below. Recognition of bass notes, recognition of chord qualities, their types, and recognition of chord numbers, their positions or functions. These are your core building blocks, the tools you use to break down anything you hear or imagine. A solid ear training routine needs to include each of them. Ear training is all about recognizing the feeling states which comprise music. Every musical structure, like a chord, a scale, a melodic scale degree, a bass note, anything, has a unique experiential quality or character that you're already perceiving. That's why you love music, is these experiential characteristics. You just need to learn to label them consistently and accurately. It's important to adopt a mindset of curiosity about music, to always be asking the question, what am I hearing? What is this? And when you're playing, you ask, what am I playing? What scale degree is this? What chord quality is this? What chord number or position is this? So progress in ear training comes not from hardcore rote memorization. You can't force it to happen. It's about setting an overall intent to perceive clearly, to hear accurately, alongside repeatedly making associations between feeling states of music and their labels, as well as comparing and contrasting things such as the sound and feeling of minor versus major, 4 versus 5, whatever it happens to be, and consistency over quantity. It's important to be consistent a little bit every day, not a lot here and there. And then in the background, magic happens. Basic music theory provides the framework for ear training, the bridge between your instrument, or DAW, and the world of sound and feeling. So I highly recommend that you get familiar with the basics, the fundamentals, like keys, scales, chords, intervals, scale degrees, chord numbers. This stuff is important. It's how you do this translating. It's how you keep track of things. You don't need to be a music theory nerd like me, but you do need a simple mind map to help you with this. Now, I cover all this in my courses on theory and composition, so I'm not going to go into depth about it here, but suffice to say, you do need to become familiar with it to a certain degree. Now, obviously, there is no one-size-fits-all perfect ear training routine for everybody. This is a template. This is something for you to customize, something to reflect on and say, what are my goals? What are my strengths and weaknesses? Am I touching on all these things? It gives you direction, something to customize, something to make your own. Listening to and singing scale degrees against a drone in isolation is the most direct route to becoming familiar with the feeling state of each degree. You spend time singing long tones against the drone, each scale degree against the drone, bathing in the resonance, the feeling state, the experiential quality, the characteristic of each note, becoming familiar with it like a friend until you know it so well that when you hear it in the wild, you say, oh, that's 5. That's 2, that's 3. This is an essential part of the ear training routine. Time with the drone. It's a relaxing, almost meditative time to put a drone on and sing or play, both ideally, long notes against the drone. My app, Sonofield Ear Trainer, is built for this. It's my top recommendation for melodic ear training. Check it out in the link below. Transcribing real melodies by ear is an essential practice in this routine, and is something you should begin as soon as you can. Just pick a simple song that you're familiar with, something you enjoy, even a nursery rhyme or a pop song or whatever it happens to be. Sing along with a recording of it. Once you're confident in the melody, pause the song and sing the melody to yourself slowly and accurately, and feel out for the scale degrees like you did in the previous exercise with the drone. Try to find the tonic and then try to work out all the other degrees. Once you're confident, go find that tonic note on an instrument and then play the rest of the melody there. Compare that against the song, the real recording, and see if you're right. If you're wrong, try the process over again. If you're right, spend time alternating between listening and singing along with the song, but in both cases, keeping the scale degrees in mind as you recognize by listening and as you produce by singing, alternating, until the point comes when you listen to the song and the scale degrees are in mind and it feels right to you. You say, yes, I comprehend it. That's the 1, that's the 5, that makes sense. It sounds right, it feels right, there's a correlation. This is how you lock it in. Melodic improvisation using an instrument or your voice, or both, ideally, is a great idea and is actually super fun. Just pick a drone or a backing track that you know the key of and begin melodically improvising in that scale, in that key. But remain conscious, remain cognizant of which scale degree you're playing at all times. That's the trick here. So you're building a subconscious association between sound and feeling, instrument, body, and label. And there's no set pattern. You're flowing, you're ever changing, just like you normally would if you were practicing improvisation or just enjoying it. The difference here is that you're remaining conscious of where you are in the key. That's the crucial part. Okay, for chords and chord progressions, here's what I recommend. Pick a chord progression, either of your own choosing or from a song that you know. Pick one that is matching where you're at, and then sing the bass notes. Go to your instrument, play the progression, take away the chord and play just the bass notes and sing them. Sing the bass notes and keep in mind which scale degrees you're singing. Let's say we had a progression that went 1, 3, 4, 2. Then you would play the bass notes 1, 3, 4, and 2, and you would sing along with those. Then you add the chords in and you keep singing the bass notes. Keep remembering which scale degrees you're playing and you're singing, but hear the whole chord along with it. From there, you start focusing on the chord qualities, major or minor or suspended or sevenths or whatever, and you pay attention to each one in particular, right? So in our example, 1, 3, 4, 2, that would be major, minor, major, minor. So we listen to the first and we say major. This is major. Then we go to the 3, minor, minor. Go to the 4, major. Go to the 2, minor. What we're doing is hearing in context of a real chord progression, surrounded by other chords, what each chord quality feels like, and we are reiterating and repeating, right, this is major, this is major, this is major, this is minor, this is minor, this is minor, over and over and over again like this. Now, what we do from that point is we start swapping the qualities. What was major becomes minor, and what was minor becomes major, not all at once, but one at a time. For instance, instead of 1, 3, 4, 2, we play 1, 3 major, 4, 2. Then go back. 1, 3, 4, 2. 1, 3 major, 4, 2. Compare what it sounds like. You're keeping the chord at the same number, the same position, 3, but the quality is changing. This lets your mind isolate and understand what happens when the quality changes while the position remains the same. And you get a better sense of what each quality really feels like in context. From there, we move on to chord position or chord numbers. So we know it by now, 1, 3, 4, 2 in our example, whatever it happens to be for you, but you take note of them specifically. This is 1, this is 1, this is 3, this is 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4. Nothing special you have to do. You're just applying the label and experiencing the feeling state, repeating, slowly playing through it over and over like this. Then, similar to before, we're going to swap something while keeping something the same. So now we're going to go 1, and instead of 3, We're going to play a chord which has the same quality, minor in this case, but is in a different position, different number, like 2 or 6. So instead of going 1, 3, 4, 2, we might go 1, 2, 4, 2, 1, 6, 4, 2, then back 1, 3, 4, 2. In this case, the mind gets the information that here we are keeping the same quality, but we're changing the position. Yes, there's 3 minor chords in the key. Yes, there's 3 major chords in the key, but they don't sound the same. They each have their own feeling state. We isolate the quality, keep it the same, but we change the number. After all that, simply transpose the progression to a new key. You were playing in C major, now you go to F major or B flat or D or whatever, but do the same thing. Sing the bass notes, listen to the qualities, listen to the numbers, do the swapping. What you'll find is you become familiar with what is common, and that's the whole point. What's common between this progression in all different keys. All the pitches are changing. That's what we're basically ignoring, and we're trying to extract the numbers, the relations, the generalization of what's going on, because that's what we use in ear training. That's the translation layer. That's how you go from feelings and sounds to the number realm to whatever you want to do, playing on your instrument, composing music, talking to your friend about it, whatever. Now, I have a number of other ear training videos. If you haven't seen them, just check the description. I'll list them down there that touch and expand on many of these topics. It's worth looking at if you're new to this kind of stuff. As well, check out Sonofield, right? It deals with melodic scale degrees in a very thorough way, going through recognition, production with your voice, melodic training, a free play mode, all sorts of stuff in there to play around with and get better at using drones and melodic scale degrees. It's really worth your time. Lastly, I just want to mention, if you want to support me, you can by becoming a channel member. And if you sign up for the Mind of Max tier, you are able to gain access to a whole suite of videos that I don't post on the main channel. If that's of interest to you and you want to support me, I really do appreciate that. If not, it's no problem. Just enjoy what I post on the regular channel. I hope this has been helpful for you. Please let me know in the comments if you have any questions or suggestions or anything else. I do read all the comments and I try to respond to as many as possible. And I'm happy to talk to you there. Hope you have a good rest of your day. Talk to you soon.